So now that we have watched the intro to XML video and we have also had a little bit of experience editing the XML document in the previous video, we're ready to create our own XML document. So let's open up Dreamweaver. Again, if you do not have Dreamweaver, please go to your Creative Cloud desktop and download Dreamweaver. Okay, download and install Dreamweaver. So you should do that first before you can go in to create an XML document. So if you do have Dreamweaver open, you're ready to go to File, New. Let's go down here to Document Type, XML, and Create. All right, so here is your XML document. All right, so before we get started, let's create a folder structure for your assignment. Okay, so here I have created here, I think I called it flyer. Okay, here I'm going to save my InDesign document here in the main folder, flyer. Okay, oops, here we go. So I have flyer. Inside of flyer, I'm going to have my InDesign document here. I have a folder called images here. Okay, and then I have images of what I'm going to use in there. Right, and then I have documents, and in documents I'm going to save my InDesign template, which I'm going to use to create that flyer like we did in the class exercise. All right, so let's take it from the top. I'll create this whole structure again. So here we go. So in here, I'm going to go new folder, and let's call this assignment 5. Okay, and in assignment 5, I'll make sure that I have a document folder, and then I'll make sure that I have an images folder. So it matters if you use uppercase or lowercase. If you use lowercase here, then make sure that when you create the path that you also use lowercase, right? And then in here in the main directory here is where I'm going to save my new XML document. So let's go File in my Dreamweaver. I go back to my Dreamweaver, go File, Save As, and I'm going to navigate to assignment 5, and I'll write my new XML. Okay, and I'm going to save it, and there we go, new XML.xml. So in here, I'm going to have my XML elements, as we discussed in the previous PowerPoint video. An XML document is made up of XML elements. So in my flyer, I'm going to have coffees. So here I'm going to write coffee. Okay, I'm going to have coffees. I'm going to have a whole bunch of coffee elements. So each one is going to be coffee. Okay. And inside of coffee, I'll have things like brand. Okay. Oh, it closes automatically, so I don't have to worry about it. Then I'll have name of my coffee. Okay, and then I'll have roast. And then I'll have the country where it's from. And then I'll have images. And I'll also have price. And then I'll have description. There we go. So I'm going to have about 3 coffees. Okay, so for your assignment, you should have, oh, there we go, that's 3. For my example, I'm just going to do 3, but for your assignment, you should have at least 10. Okay, so 10 items of whatever you choose it to be that is relevant to the theme that you're creating. So if you're choosing soccer, then they could be soccer players. So instead of coffees, it would be players, and each one would be player. And you could have name, country they're from, the description or history or other other, elements you can create. You have to come up with that. You can also have images, of course. So for the brand, I'm going to enter things like perhaps kicking horse. Okay, and then this is the text that will show up. And then I'll have the name would be maybe Three Sisters Coffee. The roast is dark. Okay, and the country is going to be from Canada. And then the images is the interesting one, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. Price will be, $14.99, and the description would be, bold and robust flavor. Okay. So this is stuff that you have to come up on your own. If you can find all this information, if there is a website or something like that that you can find this information from there, you can gladly, copy it and, use that information instead of having to make it up on your own. Now, of course, when you send me that, make sure that you enter the citation of where you got that information from, just because it's important to keep it as a good habit, as a good practice to always cite your source. All right. So I'm going to show you how to enter the file path to the images. But before we do that, let's just go save everything. And I'm just going to go over here so you can see this is my new XML that I just created over here with coffees and coffee. And inside of images, I don't have anything yet. So I'm just going to go and put some images in there. Okay. So I'm going to steal these 3 images from there. Copy. Okay, so you have to find your own images. I'm not providing this to you, not like in the class exercise. So, oops, wrong one. So in my assignment 5 images, I should have images. Okay, so now I'm ready to link to this. All right, so after you have your images in your images folder, let me just go to the right folder. So after you have your images here in your images folder, assignment 5, you're now ready to go back to your XML document, and let's go over here to images. Okay, first of all, I like to change that. Instead of images, I like it to be image. Okay, and then it will be a href, and oops, so it'll be a, here, let me just paste that for you. Okay, so it'll be href file colon and / here, and then images, the name of your folder. So the name of my folder here is images lowercase, so images lowercase, and inside of that it's going to refer to coffee jpeg.jpg. So make sure that your images are JPEG. If it's a PNG, you have to put PNG here. If it's a JPEG, for some reason spelled with a JPEG, then you have to change that accordingly as well. Okay. Okay, so now, of course, I need to, and then, of course, end with the / here, okay, before you end that element. So, of course, you have to change that for all of your other elements as well. Okay, so that would be 2, and this one would be 3. And of course, you also have to enter all the other text for the other elements here as well. Then you would go save, and you can continue on. Use this as you use the other XML document to create your flyer. Okay, so refer to the previous example, and you can create a flyer for this for your assignment 5. So refer to class exercise from class exercise 10 to create assignment 5.